80s Wrestling Con Part 2 continues on right here in Freehold, New Jersey. I Play America with the legendary, everybody has a price, the $1 Million Man, Ted Dibiase. Ted, this is a great day.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I grew up in wrestling, so wrestling is more than, it became more than a job. It was my whole life. I mean, my mother and father were professional wrestlers. I mean, that's how they met. And so I grew up in this industry, and to come to events like this where you have time. Now, I've done signings where there's so many people there, there's like, I'm signing. I just want to make sure everybody gets something.
Right.
But in an atmosphere like this where you have a little more time, you can hear the stories that the fans have to tell. Well, I mean, like, I don't know how many times I've heard stories about, well, I always watched wrestling with my grandfather or my dad, or this was what my brothers, that's what we all did when and I've also had to apologize for a lot of broken furniture over the years. But especially, but like the 80s, I mean, that was my era. And the other thing is not just the fans, but I'm seeing guys here this weekend that I haven't seen in a long time. Paul Orndorff and I wrestled together in Mid-South Wrestling. I haven't seen Paul for years, the days that I've seen him for a long time. So it's almost like a reunion as well.
Yeah, obviously your movie came out really within the last couple of years now. Talk about the success and the message of that movie.
Well, The Price of Fame was, I've told my story all over the country and in churches and what have you. I'm a minister, but it was Pete Fierro's idea to put it on film. And we did that. We had a Fathom event, and I've heard stories ever since then. And sometimes I get messages online, what have you, about, gosh, a matter of fact, today, a guy came in, he says, my dad and I went to see your movie together, and it's the first time we ever went to a movie together. And they went to see that, so I was like, that just kind of blew me away. But, the impact of that was not just for the sake of telling my story, but the whole father-son relationship. We live in a country where, 35% of our children are being raised without a father in the home. So in my ministry, what I'm trying to do, especially in Mississippi where I live, is give back, open doors, help underprivileged, disadvantaged kids, and help families, stay together.
And Ted, of course, legendary career, WWE Hall of Famer, so on and so forth, the $1 Million Laugh. You had so many great memories, the $1 Million Belt. We talked to Virgil today. Tell us about the time and the run that you had in the business and how that translates to today. I mean, there's only so many characters that are truly remembered, and you're one.
Well, a lot of times I think it's timing, being the right guy at the right place at the right time. And, Vince had an idea for a character. It was his idea, and I fit the bill because of the way I carried myself as a heel character. And, I hear it from fans all the time. This era of wrestling, the guys in the 80s and the early 90s, I heard that from fans all the time. You were guys like, not taking anything and trying to diminish anybody from today, but maybe that's just because that's the fans that come out to see us. But it was special. I feel like my era is an era of guys that learned our trade the old school way. And we got in the ring and we wrestled almost every night. And we didn't have very many days off. It was a hard life. But if we do that, it's an acquired skill. The only thing I ever knew for certain when I got in the ring is exactly how it would end. We told the story. The match was the story. And so it was a very special time, and I just feel privileged that I was part of it.
Yeah, and you look great, Ted. Obviously, keeping in great shape. Tell us about that. We talked about, looking fantastic.
Well, thank you. But for a long time, I wasn't looking fantastic. I've had both my knees replaced. I've had 2 surgeries on my neck. But when my knees got real bad, I got very lethargic, and I put on a lot of weight. I mean, I was up to like 350, and it took a while for me to, once my knees were replaced, it was like it took a while for me to, it sounded like somebody needs to kick me in the rear and say, hey, you know what to do. But the incredible thing that worked for me was called intermittent fasting. I don't eat anything after 7 o'clock. I eat 2 meals a day. I've cut back. I'm working out, and I feel better than I felt in a long time.
We look great, Ted. And last quick thing right here at Wrestling 80s Style is this. Where did the $1 Million Man laugh originate?
True story. I was doing interviews when we were doing individual interviews for every market. And, I was doing the interview, and I just happened to end that particular interview, and I laughed like that. That's an exaggeration of the way I really laugh. Vince happened to be walking by, and he stuck his head in the door, and he goes, "That's the $1 Million Man, and I want to hear that laugh every time you cut an interview." And so I tell everybody, I said, a 19-year wrestling career, I said, I'm in 3 Hall of Fames, and what am I most remembered for? Go
there
figure.
It is, baby. Ted Dibiase, Hall of Famer. Thank you so much for taking the time for us right here at 80sWrestlingCon.com.